we're just gonna break some stuff down that I've been doing that works really well for me. I mean, and finding new markets is really important. I think that you can send as many texts out, you can do as many cold calls to these certain areas, but when you go out and you find a new market and you're able to find buyers in that area, that is extremely valuable, and people pay a lot of money for that type of information, right? And that'll lead to people making a lot of money just by knowing where the good markets are, or like new up and coming area. Where's the new Lehigh Acres, or where's the new Cape? That little area is shot up so quick, and then
Yeah.
it's like, oh. And you see that all over the place. Like you can go in any state and just kind of look around, and you call up people and say, "Hey, I see these properties are selling for a lot. I see new construction in the area. Tell me a little bit about this market." And people, real estate agents and other people will always open up, and they'll be like, "Oh yeah, this is happening here." And you just ask them questions and they'll tell you exactly what the market's doing, and off of, multiple, different calls, or just, looking at, the for sale and stuff that's already sold. So it's really qualifying the market first. And so I'll show you guys how to do that. I'm sure you've kind of played around on Zillow, but Zillow's free and you can do a lot of, valuable work on Zillow. So I think it's,
Before we get to
important.
that, because I don't want to go too far ahead, I just want to introduce you for the people that don't know. This is Nathan, 19 years old, land flipper, has been killing it. Last year he was DMing me. And I'm like, yo, who's this guy just keep DMing me? But he was DMing me like wires, checks. He's like, yo, listen, I'm closing deal after deal after deal off of the information that you've been showing people. You've been inspiring with the podcast. I want to get on your podcast. So I'm like, let me see if he's actually legit. So I'm actually seeing that their checks, they're under his LLC, him and his partner Grayson. His partner is actually in Tampa, but he's moving soon as well. And they're under 21 years old, making moves, doing this, nationwide, closing deals in multiple different areas. So we got Nathan on, and he's gonna break down his land flipping business. As he's speaking, y'all, we're gonna wait for the questions at the very end. So please save your questions, and we're gonna break down his land flipping business. So let me make you the host before we get started. And if you could share your screen, and maybe what you could do is start off by like how you got into land, and then maybe break down your first deal.
Okay. Yeah. So how I started getting into land was, a lot of people start doing the wholesaling houses, and a lot of it was looking for distressed properties. So my business partner and I, we just watched a ton of videos on how to wholesale houses. And as, 17, 18-year-old kids, we were like, this is really difficult, right? We didn't really want to have to go into a house and figure out all the different factors that need to be right so the person will buy. Like we were just like, this is very confusing. And we started looking up land, and we saw Elijah's podcast, and we were like, oh, like we started watching him talking about land, and different people saying, hey, this stuff works and it's not really that hard. And then there's a lot of guys like Zach Ginn online, and they kind of show you what land wholesaling is all about and how easy it is with just a contract. And so figuring that out, where we thought like, okay, what do we do now? What do our best next steps look like? And that was marketing. We had to find the right markets, and we had to find a way to reach out to those sellers and find motivated sellers. So that's kind of how we were thinking. So we went on to Zillow, and we started looking at recently sold listings, and we found like these little spurts of like all the yellow dots that you see, and we're like, oh,
So,
what's going on over here,
would
right?
you, not to cut you off, bro, but can you maybe break it down by showing us what you're looking at? Like maybe when you go through Zillow, like
Yeah,
put us in the mind of Nathan.
yeah, let me get that.
You could keep going. My bad for cutting you off.
No, all good. Yeah, because I should definitely show this. One second, guys. All right, can y'all see? All right, cool. So what I'm doing here is you go to Zillow, go sold, lots and lands, cross out everything else, just lots and lands. Go to more. I just do, quarter acre, last 12 months just to start, right? Starting to look at this entire area, right? You got all of Florida, and let's just do this. Do something like this. So let's look at Kansas. All right. You just look all over. Like I have people look at new markets for me and just look at Zillow and just see what's going on. So let's see. Go to a city and start looking outside of it. What's going on here? So these actually they don't have the prices on there, so I'm just gonna go over to another state. There we go. So the Bella Vista, this has been blowing up for years now. Just go around, see what's
Where is
going on.
this
So
at? Arkansas?
yeah, this is Arkansas. So you just go to these towns. You got Bella Vista here, that's going crazy. Look in these neighborhoods. Like just go out, you go to map, you go to satellite here, and you can kind of see 67, 67, 66, 50, 50. Why are people buying these lots? You want to figure that out, right? So this I would mark. I don't know if I would mark this one, but it seems like there's a lot of stuff going on here. So this looks like some development, maybe like a commercial development. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take a note of this property right here. I'm just going to get the zip code because then I can go back to it later and I'll say Joe LN and then write that down. And so I'll just go through Zillow, just finding like weird little communities that are developing. Like this looks a little bit better here. So what I'm thinking, maybe somebody owns this land and they're just selling little parcels of it already. So you want to stay away from land that one person already owns that they're just selling directly to people who want to build houses because they're not going to really sell to wholesalers. Maybe at a wholesale price if you're buying the whole thing, but lakes too, you can go to bodies of water and see what's going on. And so that's really what I do to find these new markets. Like over here, I see a 7.8 and 30, and then 8.6. So I would kind of stay away from something like this because I wouldn't want to send mail outs here. I don't even know.
Hey,
1 point.
not to cut you off. I'm gonna
Yeah.
be I'm gonna call this seller back. I think a seller's calling me. I missed the call.
Okay.
So the seller right back. I'll be right back.
Yeah. All right. So does anybody have any like questions about looking for new markets, or do you guys look for new markets? Is that something you guys do?
Yeah, I think I think we all look for new markets to market to sellers. The key is what combination of buyers are you going to have? Are you going to have straight cash buyers that have already bought in the area? Are you going to work with builders, a combination of that, or are you going to list, or are you going to do all three?
Okay. So I don't really know yet unless I look at the market. So and know who's in there. So I'm looking at this from a perspective where I have zero builders, right? Zero builders, zero buyers, and I know no realtors. So if I pick this area right here, right? And this isn't too great, but here, let me go to like something easy to show you guys. Went to. So I'm basically calling the first people that I am calling are realtors. Realtors are your best friend in this situation because they're going to let you know who's in the area and who's doing what. So if you go to a sold listing here, scroll down, listed with Klein Group, call this number, right? Say, hey, why did this property sell for $19,000? How would you say the market's doing? There's a lot. I see there's a lot of lists. There's a lot of sold listings here. I send mail outs and I'm an investor in the area trying to market towards what's this called? Aiken. And I either list, buy, hold for 6 months, and then list on the MLS, or I just sell off market. Do you have any people looking to buy anything off market in this area? Then you can kind of say something along those lines, or you can ask like a qualifying question like, how slow is this market? How quickly did your last listing sell that was vacant land? Right? Does that kind of answer your question? Like what I'm trying to do?
Yeah. It does.
Yeah, so like right here, this is a cool area. I'm looking at this and man, 90K. There looks like a bunch of vacant land. So say like I got this property
Happened,
under
buddy?
contract.
Oh, pickle? Nah, I'm good, buddy. Oh, you good. I don't like pickles.
You guys got to mute yourself, please.
Yeah,
They ain't call you?
Yeah, sorry about that. So say like I just sent mail out here because I saw this place look promising, and I have this property under contract. I go to this listing.
Would it be okay to get gas now? Oh, no. Ready to sweat in this heat?
All right, bro, mute your mic. Come on, man.
You said you was about to go down to the gas station? Oh, okay.
Bro,
Oh, okay.
all right. So you find this property, you got it from a
You're a
mail
little
out.
hot.
You go to the property address
Bro,
here.
mute your mic.
Yeah, mute the mic, bro. Come on. All right, so you got this sold list in here. So you call this lady. Just call her up and say, hey, I have a property. Oh, whoops. You call her up and say, hey, I have this property at 154 Commonwealth. I saw your sold listing here, sold for 90K. I just wanted to see if you had any people looking to buy off market or how much, or you could even just ask them how much you think the property's worth, because you just showing them that you have the property under contract and telling them, hey, how much do you think this property is worth? Then they'll tell you, and then they'll ask you, do you have a real estate agent? Are you trying to list it? What are you trying to do with the property? And then you could present them the opportunity of being like, yeah, I'm not sure if I want to list it, but do you know anybody who's buying off market? And, sometimes they'll be like, oh yeah, absolutely. I'm a buyer's agent for these community, waiting for, properties at a set price to, come down and then buy. So that's very important. And you could easily just do that, but you do have to have a property under contract first. But if you're just looking in an area, you can ask them, about the market and what's going on, and then say, hey, I'm actually marketing a lot in this area. Do you know of any people building? Do you know of people buying off market? If I was to get a property, and close on it, would you be able to list it for me? Like, kind of stuff like that to get them in, create those relationships, because they can help you and they have all those connections. Tell them you're calling the expert in the area and you think that the expert is them, because that they are the expert because they do the real estate in this area, and you live
That's
in.
a major game right there. I ain't gonna hold you. That's a good one. I ain't gonna lie. I'm used to that.
Yeah. No, you got to praise these people because you're calling them. They're only going to make money. They're not going to make money from the phone call. They're going to make money from the deal when it's closed. So you want to praise them and tell them that, hey, you're the expert in this area. I just want to know what my property is worth. That's really important. Just be nice with these people, make a friend, and more than not, when you make a friend, they'll connect you with people and you know they'll help you a lot in this real estate stuff. So make friends with as many people as you can when you're getting into this. And yeah, it's very important to do that. Just be nice with these people because they'll help you a lot. Does anybody have questions? Nothing on that?
So would you say the bulk of your buyers, are local buyers that are already investing in the area or builders?
Yeah, so it's a mix. It's definitely a mix. Like if I'm looking to go and find a new market, I'm definitely just gonna I'm gonna start calling realtors first. That's my number one starting point. And I'm gonna call realtors and see where the investors are. Because I want to find the investors who can go close quickly. A lot of the builders, a lot of the builders, it's gonna take them a while. All right. They have 45, maybe 60-day feasibility periods. And they do buy for more, but I just want to get a scope of what's happening in the area. But when I'm looking for builders, though, I want to see if there's any development going on. And so what I would do is find a property like this right here, 231 Highland. And a lot of what you can do is you can just go.
See, I see you. I know the feeling. One more day.
Go to Google Earth, type in the address, and go to it. And this will tell you it's pretty updated. A lot of this stuff. See, this is a gated community. But let's just try over here. See, this is like in the middle of nowhere.
How come solar can get help?
What was that?
Mm.
Find another property. So if you want to find builders, you can just go and look up like, okay, let's see this. Aiken, South Carolina. Literally do this. Literally just okay. Home builder.
Hello, my name is Louise, and I'm calling from Los Angeles Department of Water and Power. This is a courtesy call for Perry O'Connor concerning 11750 Otsego Street. Is that who I'm speaking with? Okay, thank you so much. Yes, this is just a courtesy call to let you know that you have a high water bill coming out. We requested a field investigation, so an investigator is going to be calling you to schedule a time when they can come out to see if they can find the reason that it's high. Okay.
All right. So basically what you're gonna do here is
I don't know, it's higher than normal. I don't have the amount, but it's higher than normal.
Louise, can you mute your mic?
I muted her. So you go Aiken, South Carolina Spec Home Builders. And see how this is a custom home builder? If you call this number, they'll tell you, we don't buy land. We just find people who want to, who already have a piece of land. They want to put a property on it, and they'll have like, they'll put a house on it, right? They're not touching the land. Lee Builders, call that number. Say, hey, just had a couple properties in the area. I'm looking to buy. Just wanted to see if you guys were interested in, buying property off market. And then you'll basically hear what they say. They'll be like, oh no, we don't buy land. We're not buying any land. Or they'll say like, yeah, we buy in this area. We buy like if I called Lee and then they said they were building down here, you know, you want to figure out what their criteria is. So what's important is you ask, you know, do you accept assignment of contract? Can you do assignments? And you know, what's your building criteria? What do you need for me to find you a property? Or what are you looking for out of, you know, a lot that I can find? Is it a quarter acre, half acre? Are you looking for acreage lots? Do you have to have utilities on those lots? You know, do they need septic? Do they need to be zoned for, you know, 3 bedrooms plus? A lot of there's a lot of qualifying questions, and honestly, you can just go in a chat GPT and say, write qualifying questions to figure out what spec home builders are looking for in an area. And you could just write that, and then it'll tell you exactly what you need to ask them to qualify an area. So, you know, you just go down and call every single one. And then if you call every single one and, you know, you have like 2 or 3 that, you know, they were like, okay, here's an email this person, that's a success. But if you don't make sure, if you don't call the other ones that didn't answer the phone, because a lot of them might not answer the phone, it happens a lot. You need to make a list of those so you can call them and follow up with them again, because you might be missing out on those builders who take assignments. So that's very, very important. And if you can just do that, just call people, figure out what their buying criteria is, ask qualifying questions, then you will have a lot more builders, you know, ready to go, ready to, you know, tell people, hey, start marketing in this area, let's JV. You know, that's very important. Does anybody have any questions now?
Do you run the same filters on PopStream?
Yeah, so I mean, PropStream, I'll show you. Their PropStream's pretty basic. The types of filters that we use, I mean, it's kind of, I'll show you here. So, what's this? Aiken, California. Aiken, South Carolina. And do not send mail out to this area. I haven't called anybody here. This is just a random city that I've found. But if you want to go call and do this area, like, you know, we could JV something. I can find some builders, or you can find some. I'll send mail outs, or Eli can. But you got to find the buyers. So we'll just outline this little area here. Just pretending like, okay, you know, the builder said that he would buy stuff in this area. So I'm just going here. I'm gonna go to my filters. Going in vacant land. No cash buyers. So cash buyers, property characteristics, you go. Vacant land general. There. Yeah. So nothing there. Okay. So there's nothing in this area. So this is not a good area. We want to go somewhere else. We don't want to be in this area. So yeah, my screen's tiny. I feel like over here.
If you're only finding like 2 or 3 in an area, that's still worthwhile to go after, though, right?
Yeah, it's still worthwhile to go after. All you really got to do is cash buyers, vacant land, and you just look at it, see what's going on. So you got 143. So then you add to your list. You just add to your list. And basically you could do this. Watch this. Fast people search. Very important. Address. So say like this guy right here, I'm looking to find the person this problem, right? That's a trust.
Can you mute your mic, whoever that is?
Let's say switch your phone, but we all have a job. So if I'm still in Wells Fargo, I will schedule it around closing so I get a break.
Nate, can you mute them?
Yeah, who is it?
I'm not sure, but you could mute everybody. And then
Yeah.
I'll mute my mic.
Let me do that.
No, I have a job. It's just, I don't know.
The iPhone or Zach Williams.
Let me help you.
Oh yeah, there it is. All right, cool. Yeah, so true people search. This is important. You'll like this is big in sales when you're trying to find somebody or like find a property address and find who owns it. But yeah, just mailing address, this guy. So what I'm gonna do is with Augusta. Drive North Augusta. All right, and then you can find his number here, but I don't want to flash all that in a Zoom. But yeah, then you could go find the guy's number. But that's how you can skip trace these people's information. You literally just go and find these cash buyers here. You see it, and so this guy bought this property, and okay, there looks like there's a development here. Oh, why are people buying? Okay. And so it's just looking for people to buy. And you just call up these people and say, hey, are you interested in buying any off-market pieces of land in your area? And people say no, people say maybe, people say yes, but it's all about volume. And it's about following up with the people that didn't call you back, because that's very important. You should at least call somebody six times. If they don't answer by that sixth time, then it's like, okay, we'll let it rest. But follow up, and you'll get a lot of, people calling you back, or you'll have, more contacts than you thought you would. If you call a list of 20 people and, they might be, in the bathroom or getting a sandwich or at the, market, right? So just call people back, follow up. It's very important. But yeah, you just go down through here and you'll find individual investors on Zillow, on here, and then you can go onto Google and look up spec home builders and then just go through it, and you will find builders this way. Like you will. There's nothing stopping you from, finding builders unless, you're not working hard. So you can every single one of you can do it, and it's real rewarding when you find one and you're like, yo, Eli, I got this guy over here. Or like you hit up somebody and they come in and help you out because they see how much work you put into it, because it's hard to do this. But yeah, that's what I would say about finding builders and buyers.
Do you stand by like a general timeline when you're setting up your follow-ups, like once a week kind of thing or something like that?
Yeah, so what I do is through a database that I use, it's actually called Podio. I recommend everybody getting on it. It's Podio, it's a CRM. It's just so you can manage, what calls you're making. And you have to automate it yourself, but we've kind of automated it like in-house. So every app goes to something, so we can connect our prop stream to the CRM. But look into like apps or like computer databases that you can create like a little sales CRM. So you're able to, schedule those out. So I'll make a call, and then if they don't answer, I'll schedule it on a day that I am free. And through my CRM or, through my pad and paper that I wrote down my to-do list for the day, right? I know when I can call this person back, or I know what the next couple days look like. So I'll just set a follow-up task then. But it is important. Podio is very cool for this matter, that it's just setting a task and then having an email or like a daily email that sends to you or a text that says, hey, this is what you need to do today. And so that's very important. I think Podio is free, like to a certain extent, but I would definitely recommend hopping on that. It's a very good database.
That's a good
Any
tip
other
there.
questions? Cool.
Hi, can you walk us through a deal you have recently closed, end to end, please? Thank you.
Yes. Yes. So what we did here in Tennessee, I basically did what I did on Zillow. I went to this area, and what I've gotten to a point where it's like I only handle one side of the business, and then my business partner handles the other side of the business. So what he did was he did his marketing. So we sent out. I found that area. I called realtors, and I found a couple buyers through realtors. And I said, hey, I have people looking to buy off market land in this area. And then I also went the route of going onto Google and just looking up spec home builders and calling them and having good conversations with them. And I said, Grayson, this is an area that we need to be marketing to. And so he basically was like, okay, I'm going to send out, our VAs, and I'm going to text, we're going to text, mail out cold calls. Everyone's going over there. And we pick up a couple properties that fits our investors' criteria, gets them under contract. I get them, and I call the realtors and I email the realtors and the people who are looking for the properties that we found with the exact criteria. And then I email it to them, send them the criteria and say, hey, this is what you asked for. Does it make sense to you? And most of the time they're like, yes, this is what we were looking for. And we send them the assignment of contracts at the closing date. We find a good title company. That's important thing too, because you calling these realtors and you get on the phone with the realtor and they recommend a title company and they say, hey, they're really good with off market stuff. This is what they're good at, and so you make that connection. So that's a really, really cool thing. Like I said, making a friend with the realtor. But yeah, so we send the assignment to that not to the realtor, but to the individual, and then I write the realtor in the deal, and then I give them commission. And we send that to the title company, set a closing date, and it just happens then. Title company reaches out, hey, today's closing. What's your, send them the wiring and instructions. That's what my last deal looked like, and we're constantly doing those, and it's just a long pipeline. So to a point, I'm not really doing this. I'm not really going in and doing the Zillow stuff anymore much, like even getting on PropStream. It's more of just back end stuff, keeping relationships with realtors and, giving them those calls, giving my investors calls, giving my builders calls, and making sure that, I'm fulfilling what they need. So does that make sense? Cool.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Well, Eli, I haven't really eaten anything today, and I'm like really starving. But does anybody have any questions, anything that I can answer? Anything sales, maybe you're having trouble on the phones, just something, any
Yeah, I
advice?
got one for you.
Okay.
Got a quick one. So when you do your mailers, are you doing blind offers? You doing neutral letters? What does that look like? Or do you have a preference?
A good question.
So with our mailouts, we'll just have we'll already have a buyer in mind with a mailout. So we already know what they're paying for. So we'll do a minimum of $10,000. We don't want a deal to be below $10,000 on a mailout. So that's where we set our price.
He's
So
basically asking what type of mail you send out.
Yeah, so no, we just send out letters. We have our business information on there, and we have an automation. It automates on an Excel sheet. We pull the entire list, and then we have our guy go through and he changes offers in certain areas that we know that we're sending to. And it's basically a letter saying, hey, this is our company. This is what we do. We are looking at your property here, and we would like to, pay this amount for it. And then at the bottom, we have like a couple numbers saying, what's your number? What's the serial number at the bottom of the agreement? And sometimes they'll say it, and then we get their exact property, and we can pull it up. And that just makes it a lot easier, and it's instantly in our CRM, so we know what we're looking at, and then we can give them they either sign the contract or they say, hey, I don't like this price, can you do 1,000 more? And we kind of put that into our CRM, and then we'll say, okay, no, we can't do that price, or yeah, we can do this if you can cover all closing costs.
Are you
give
manually sending it, or are you sending it through yellow letters?
Not through yellow letters. So Grayson tackles all of our mail outs, but we actually have gotten a package with a company. And we bought into this package, so it's not like any monthly. It's a like a reoccurring thing that it's one of our guys, one of his mentors that he uses, that we recently just started using. But any mail out, there are so many different mail out companies. You could do blind offers for an area that you're not so sure about, but I would recommend finding an exact criteria so it is worth your while when you hear that phone ring and you answer it and you hear a person saying, hey, I saw your agreement, I want to buy this property, or I want to sell my property. Here's a emailed picture of the purchase agreement, signed or scanned over to you, and you're like, okay, sweet. Right. That's kind of what we're looking for. But yeah, any other question? Yep.
Yeah, so when you're talking to the realtor and you obviously they're giving you the builders, how do you ask them for what's their commission? Just in a way so you don't ask in a bad way and they can take advantage. How do you usually ask for what their commission is or set that term?
So I just be straight with them. Just be straight with them and say, hey, I would love for your help in this area. I have a couple properties here. I'm offering 5% commission on the assignment. That's very important. Commission on the assignment. Because hey, I'm offering 5% commission. And they might think it's, if it's $100,000 deal, they're going to get, 5% off of $100,000. But if it was like 80, you got a property for 80,000, you sold it for, 100,000, then, they're only getting 5% commission on that 20,000. So you want to make that clear. I'll give you 5% commission off of the assignment.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Yeah, bro. Got you.
Appreciate
Anybody else have any questions?
I feel like I missed most of this too. I got to go back and watch this. I just actually got a deal up in Alabama. A lot that's on a nice, block. I actually got it for the assessed value, so I'm pretty hyped about that. But
there you go.
I definitely got to watch this over and pick up on little stuff that you're doing, because I know you're doing good things out there. So I appreciate you for giving your knowledge to the group. And is there any way, let's say somebody wants to contact you or JV with you, is there any way we could get in contact with you?
Yeah, so I'll say my number if you want to write it down, and you just send me a text and we can, figure some stuff out, or we can look at markets together. 813-499-6583. So that's 813-499-6583. And just text me, and then, introduce yourself. I'll send you my email, and I do most of my, just back and forth through email. And, I do text, but yeah, just shoot me a text. I'll give you my email and we can talk from there. And we could look at stuff together, and, I can help you out a little bit. I'm always willing to share some knowledge, or, when I share stuff, I always learn something back. So
appreciate you,
absolutely.
Bro. Definitely was a great one. And before we go, what I want to say to you guys is, you know how Nate showed the Zillow? Think of it like this: 19,000 lots sold last month across the nation. You know, everybody, most of you guys are all just looking at Florida. I just got a deal in Alabama, right? So don't put a limit on what you could do. If land is selling, you know, you could make some money in that market. You just have to kind of learn the market, like Nate said. Reach out to the professionals, which is the realtors in the area. And what you say, what was that line? So I could, you know, use that. What you
Oh,
said?
bro.
You're the professionals. I just wanted to reach out to you to, you know, see if we can make something happen or something like that. What you said?
Yeah, it's like hey Mandy, I have a property down the road, and to be honest, I don't know this area too well. I just wanted to call a professional in the area to, see what you thought this property was worth. And then they'll be like, "Oh yeah, you're talking to the expert," or they're like, I'm not the expert. Come on." And then it brings down that wall, right? And
Mhm. And that's all you guys need, because once you get to know the area, once you have somebody like a realtor that you see that's a buying agent or a seller's agent for multiple lots in the area, once you have that connect, you know, you'll have more confidence on making offers and negotiating deals. So don't feel like you're limited just to do it in one area. You know, I just recently, this whole week, I looked at probably I gave my virtual assistant around like 8 to 10 areas to look at. Like right now, we're making it offers in North Carolina, Alabama, Florida, high price lots, low price lots. So if you have the budget, don't just limit yourself. If land is selling, you could sell land there too. You just have to get it for the right price. With this one, I got it for the assessed value. I don't have a builder per se in my back pocket in the area yet, but if I got it for the assessed value, I know I could sell it, because anytime I got something for the assessed value or a little bit above, I always sold it, whether it was wetlands, flood zone, main road. So that's another thing you guys could do if you guys just wanted to maybe just try a different market, right? A different state, and just offer the assessed value. Do a small list. It could be like 100 records, right? That's probably going to cost you guys $20 a night out, you know, a dinner, right? And just see where you could get. You get it for the assessed value or under what is selling on the market, reach out to that realtor. Let them know, hey, I got this property. You're the professional. I want to work with you. Now you got somebody in your back pocket, and now you make a deal happen. And it could be that simple. I feel like we make it a little bit more complex because we don't have a deal right away, right? But if you just kind of just like chill out, make it simple, I promise you things will start happening. So I got to actually write up this contract. So I'm going to get going. But I appreciate you guys. And I'll post this in the group in about 15 to 20 minutes once it downloads.
And whoever said that was AI, I appreciate that. That is a compliment. That is a compliment. That is a compliment. That's some sales sauce. You just got to give these people praise.
Right.
And it's all about building rapport.
For sure.
So
y'all have a good night. It's Thursday. Be safe. And I'll see you guys next week.
sorry. See you guys.